While we warn all state governors that stand against the implementation of the RUGA initiative to desist and give peace a chance, we place President Buhari and the federal government on notice that they must act to halt and completely stop this raging madness within 30 days, beginning from today, Wednesday, July 3, 2019. For the avoidance of doubt, we advise the federal authorities and the southern leaders to heed the 30-day notice, failing which we would most definitely be left with no option than to consider resorting to our decisive line of action. We remind the nation that so long as the Fulani will not be allowed to enjoy their citizens' right of living and flourishing in any part of this country, including the South, no one should also expect us to allow any Southerner to enjoy the same in Northern Nigeria.
So good afternoon, everybody. Sunday today. MaaziEzeoke here. I basically have delayed this video to prove a point. It's been 5 days now, getting to 1 week, that everybody woke up and read and saw the video of the Ariwa group. Basically, various groups came together and said that the suspended RUGA settlement must be reactivated by the federal government of Nigeria. Now, I have been waiting for the government to, issue statement or make arrest or show any sign that they actually listen to this message. Till yet, none. Igbo has asked the Igbos in the north. They issued a press statement through their president, Chief Nia Nwodo, that the message is basically and nothing short of arrant nonsense. Afenifere issued a statement condemning such, asked the police to ensure that these people are brought to book. Where am I heading to? Now, getting to 1 week. No one has been questioned and no one has been brought to book. Think about this. President Muhammadu Buhari is the commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. And this chap and this group of people said expressly that they are putting the commander-in-chief on notice, right? That after 30 days, if this decision is not reversed, then they will do whatever they deemed fit. The question is, what is it that they deemed fit that they could do if not violence? They put the whole Nigerians on notice, saying, if you do not support this, XYZ will happen. We don't know what is going to happen, but we're not kids. We already know what could happen. Now, and this is the point, the question is, why is it that this guy has not been picked up? This group has not been, no one has discussed about them. Remember, 2 years ago, just for the fact that IPOB, because they were Igbos, were protesting on the streets of Aba, Onitsha, Umuahia. What happened? A python, or rather, pythons went dancing. Therein, we lost hundreds of our youths. MaaziEzeoke. In the Federal High Court, Oka, I still have a case against the federal government for the death that occurred in the Python dance too. Still have a case against the federal government at the ICC. The question is, why would such happen? Why is it that when Igbos do something, everybody. It appears that the only unifying factor is the Igbo. Whatever unifies the people is only when the Igbos are involved. Everybody comes together, kill them, kill him, kill him. Why? And these guys are just threatening the federal government, threatening the whole citizens of Nigeria. And what's happening? No one is saying anything. The police cannot even do anything. The police cannot even question them. Just invite them for questioning. Show any semblance of doing any activity. No, the police can't do that because you know why? Because they are Fulanis. So Fulanis are the untouchables, even where law is broken. I wouldn't be surprised if someone invades my house in Anambra looking for me because I'm just asking these questions. If by tomorrow I'm no more, I've been shot, know who killed me. You see, that is a nation that makes you angry. Tell me the benefit of being such a loop-sided nation. The other day, and this is now to my brothers, some of you, when I made a video from the airport on, on Thursday, and I said, I found this absurd because that's when I watched that video and I was on transit. And some of you said, why is he not talking about Biafra? He's anti-Igbo, he's Sabo, he's... I said, some of you just, sorry, but you need to shut the crap because you know nothing. You know nothing. What's your problem? Some of you said, oh, why did he say Southern Nigeria? Look, if you do not have sense, borrow one. Someone threatened not Igbo alone, but he said every Southerner. What is Southerner? The southern hemisphere of Nigeria includes. Go and get your Nigerian, the Nigerian map. Look at the southern hemisphere, the old eastern region that includes the contraption called the South-South, because there is nothing like South-South. Come on. It's geographical nonsense. You have East, you have West. Then if you have East-West, you can have, the whole South includes the Southwest and the Eastern region, the West and the Southeast of today, and the South-South, basically meaning all the southern states, the Yoruba nation, the Igbo nation, the Ijo nation, the Ishekiri nation, the everything within the southern hemisphere. Those are the people when we say the southern Nigeria. And like Benue, Kogi, those are still southern Nigerian. Okay? Now, if somebody threatens you saying southern Nigeria because you have refused to agree to RUGA, and someone is saying he's threatening every one of you, and some of you expect me to call for, say, Biafra or whatever. No! It is a common unity of purpose. We must be strategic in our thinking. Our fathers fought the First War between 1967 and 1970. It was only us, the Eastern region. We lost. Now someone is threatening you. You do not be silly to allow that happen again. This time around, it must be a collective shout. I don't need to go more than this, but I just need to mention that for those of you that have been saying, why is he talking like that he's a one Nigerianist, that he's one this or that. I don't bloody care what you think, but I am here to state the facts the way they are. Now, having said that, if he threatens you, that means they want Ekiti, they want Ondo, they want Ogun to do their RUGA settlement. Do you know that between Lagos and Okada, which is in Edo State, there are some states in Delta and Edo, there are some towns that people no longer even go through. because these men come out of the bush. These are herders. The Fulani herders, they come out of the bush and they kidnap people. They take them into the bush because they now control the bushes. The other time, I said, one of the things we might consider doing is to have what I call the forest guards, people that will guard the forests within the south. Where we have the vigilantes during the day, we might have the forest guards to go through the forest during the day. Now, some people make comments saying, well, we can combine the two. You see, there is nothing like one solution that fits all. Let every state do it as they see fit. For instance, some states in the southeast that have like 5,000 square kilometer, Anambra State is a very small state. There might not be need to have forest guards and vigilantes. The vigilantes, because we do not have like that massive bush, so the vigilantes could double as the forest guard and as well double as vigilantes. States like Ogun, Oyo, where we have massive landmass, they can have two. Having said that, let me come back to the point. The point remains that if the people of the South say there is nothing like RUGA, they don't want RUGA, and there is actually a solution and a proposition made by the Southeastern Governors Forum. Very simple, and I think I agree with them. If they bring cows to us and we buy these cows, right? Can we sell grasses to them? Yes. In some of the countries in Europe, in the Netherlands, in Germany, in Belgium, many of these countries, grass is a very big business. Some of them, there are various types of grass. There is one they call tough, what people put at their back garden. It is business. People have fields, hectares of land where they grow these grasses. Then there are ones they collect for the cows. Okay, so the way you go out and buy your chicken feeds is the way you can go out and buy these grasses and feed your cows. Let us make this thing RUGA thing, something that's going to work. And I keep saying it. Myself, as an individual, we're beginning to look into, because rather than my people to die, we're beginning to look into the business opportunities of setting up, ranches, no matter how small. If I'm able to get 500 cows, I'm actually more interested in what the Germans would call Fischzuchten, how basically, the words, I can't find the right word now, but let me describe it, just to create the small cows, the baby cows, yeah? Because through artificial inseminations, there are ways you can mass produce them. So that's one of the things one is looking into. So now, again, to the point is that someone has threatened the whole nation, and the police has done nothing. Why? Because that person is Fulani. And now we have Igbos who are still in the north, and we have northerners in Nigeria, in the south. Jesus Christ. That person must be brought to book. And a note of warning to every Igbo person out there, if you're in the north, please, no one is saying you should, honestly, because it's easier for some of you online to say, oh, everybody vacate the north. Listen, if you have lived in a place for a very long time, and if you're matured enough, it's not that easy to move. It's not that easy to move. Now, the only thing I can tell my people is, onye ya na ndị ilo na-eli nni na-eji afọ anyị alarụ kee nọ nkwuchi ụmụnne m agwọ nọ n'akịlịka. They've given us 30 days. Let's watch out and see what's going to happen after 30 days. But one thing that I like so much is this. Governor of Rivers State has actually won my heart, because the man came out and said, if you can pipe oil from rivers, from Bayelsa to Adamawa to Kaduna, pipe water as well. He doesn't have land to give, but he has water to give you. and I agree with him. Let us look at various unconventional ways of solving this problem. Again, let us look at various unconventional ways. Like Wike said, pipe water. Again, if you think what Wike said, I think Wike made a lot of sense. Again, watch Wike say what he said.
The RUGA thing you are talking about, I don't even know the meaning. Can you be involved in what you don't know the meaning? We don't have land to give. We have water. Is it not true? They put pipe here and take oil down to anywhere. Is it not true? They say come and put pipe and take water and go and feed the cows. In that way, we have contributed. But anything has to do with land, not here. I'm not the party to that. So don't just bother yourself. But everybody, you must be vigilant. We must be vigilant. There's no RUGA or NUGA, whichever name they want to call it. There's no. We want to do agriculture. The small land we have is not even enough. We are talking about where animals will come and eat. We human beings will have not eaten. So don't bother about River State. It is not going to be available. Thank you.
You've seen what Wike said. Let them pipe, because that's the thing. Why did we pipe oil, but we can't pipe water? Yet people want to die because of cows. We can put a stop to this nonsense. And how? It's very simple. We must collectively, listen, there is money to be made in ranching. I think because we haven't seen it as a business we can all go into, that's why the nonsense continues. But the moment you begin to get into the business, if they move around and they're able to sell their cows for 180, 200,000, and we're able to ranch and get fatter cows and sell at 150, 160, tell me who will be run out of business. If you remember the story of Innocent, how he started, every other person imports motorcycle to Nnewi, and I think when each motorcycle contains about 70, each container contains about 70 motorcycles or thereabout. But Innocent found a way to dismantle them in Japan and bring them here and reassemble. So he was getting about 240. That means he puts every other person, because by the time you do your calculations, you cannot compete with him. So what I want us to do as a people, to think of innovative ways. We're not reinventing the wheels, because there are countries that have done that. So let us go and understudy them. Understudy them, understand how these things are done. The moment we do that, we can run this. No, we're not going to tell somebody, because you see, if you finish running a cow from Sokoto to Bayelsa, and at the end of the day the cow looks emaciated, and you're offering somebody 170, the person is telling you, why would I buy this cow at 170,000? Because I have this fat southern cow that I can buy at 160 or 150. Listen, you don't do that twice. What it means, I'll drive you out of business. This is a fight that needs to be done here. This is not a physical fight. But what I can tell you free of charge is that the game is changed. The game is no more like it used to be. Now, again, let us watch out and see what is going to happen after these 30 days. But one thing I can equally tell us, it is time for the southern Nigerians to begin to think about a collective strategy. Those of you that don't understand the strategy that I talk about, I might do an elaborate video on a different date. Apuana manata abata no obi. We must form a common front, else you'll be tagged and you'll be targeted. Watch the words. You'll be tagged and you'll be targeted. We don't want that. There has been mistakes made, but the corrections will now come. When we have a common southern front, let us actually tackle this thing from this front. Then we'll come back, we'll decide. We want to be on our own. That is the same referendum we're talking about. The referendum is not just by typing it. Let us decide, do we want to be as a southern, I don't care, the name, please, let the name not, because sometimes it appears some of us are so ignorant that the name bogs you down. The name shouldn't worry you. Let us eventually, when the meat is cooked, let us come down and say, how do we want to define this area? There are some peripheral definitions that we should have done. But when the time comes, we say, do we want this thing as a southern republic? And let us go to referendum. And let some of us, and let some of you say, no, we don't. We want the old Eastern Republic to come back. And so be it, if the people want that to be. But equally, the same people must be ready to say, okay, if the people want a southern republic that includes the Yorubas, that's the southwest, the Midwest region, the old Eastern region, okay? Whenever emphasis here, I know some of my followers are actually angry when I do use the South. I understand that, but it's a nomenclature that was being created by the military to divide us. Suddenly, a brother do no longer see his brother as his brother. It's because of these, concepts. But be that as it may, the use of South is for clarity. But the main issue is Eastern Nigeria. So if they decide that's going to be a nation of their own, there must be something that we can define how we can be governed that is not the way that was done in Nigeria. Equally, if Nigeria must progress, not in this current structure, let the regions be on their own. Let the Eastern region be on their own. If the Eastern region decides to answer Republic of Biafra, let it be. That is referendum. If they say they want to answer Lower Niger Republic, that is the nomenclature. But I think some of us get hung on it's Biafra or nothing, or the name must be Biafra. No, my people. The name is irrelevant. The name is semantic. It's part of that divide and rule. Let us remove that from our thinking. Understand that we need to build bridges first, because after all, one thing I have learned over the years, and I'm going to say this, I've done projects where I engaged people, some of my brothers from rivers, Akwebong, cross rivers. And when that word Biafra is mentioned, it does to them the opposite of what a good Egu Ogene from Enugu does to an Igbo person. The opposite of what a good, because sometimes when a very good Ogene music plays, Onyibo can step on a bottle and rise up. But imagine where a name to some of them and to the majority of them does the opposite. When it scares them, when it stops them from having a conversation with you, isn't it wise to play down on that name and have a meaningful discussion? If you want to do something different from the way it is done in Nigeria today, then we should give people the opportunity to say, I am, or we want to be this. Okay? We should give the people the opportunity to say, what do you want to call this new engagement? We know we were one before, but a lot of water has gone under the bridge. Okay? So this video is basically 2-in-1. I'm addressing the Arewa threat to the rest of us. And at the same time, I'm addressing my people that constantly, keep attacking anyone that has diverse opinion. Anyone that doesn't necessarily come out and shout, it's this, or you are a sabo. No, my brothers, in love, please, in love, let us begin to reason with one another. There is no need to insult one another. After all, we are one before, and we can still be one. Let us not get stuck in the name. Let the name not be the problem. The name is mere semantic. Please, my brothers, I cannot emphasize that enough. The name means nothing. But when we get past that stage where we have built trust, we can ask, okay, people, we are free because we are fighting our freedom. What do we want to call ourselves? We'll bring, a lot of names will emerge. The Lower Niger Republic would emerge. Republic of Biafra will emerge. Whatever name, Atlantic Republic would emerge, whatever the name it doesn't matter. Then the people will decide. That is the referendum we talk about. If we do not understand what the referendum is when you and I are the deciding factors. One, what is the name of your new nation? Two, what type of governance do you want? These are the pros and these are the cons. If we want parliamentary system, these are the pros, these are the cons. If we want presidential system, these are the cons and these are the pros. If each one you choose has consequences. Okay, how do we want to run it? These, in order to accommodate everyone here, you have one president, then you have multiple vice presidents. See, these are only mere suggestions. Do not get your brain stuck out by these suggestions. We can start talking about that when the time comes. However, I want to equally say on a final note this, because I've written some of these things before. Just Google my name, MaaziEzeoke, MaaziEzeoke, right? MaaziEzeoke with double A. When you look, when we check out all these things, some of us have basically said these things. What is it? The concept? Because sometimes you say, "Oh, Nigeria does not allow us to govern ourselves properly." No, wrong. There are things there are what I call the Biafran template, for instance. What could be the Biafran template? The Biafran template, to have the way the structure is today, nothing changes, but we can be the best in the whole Africa. Today, with the current structure, first of all, when you get the right people in the position of authority, have them sign undertaking that no governor shall have, for instance, more than 3 cars. No deputy governor should have more than 2 cars. Every commissioner use the car you use. If you're using Okada before you become a commissioner, you have to use that same Okada, but you get travel allowance. Cut down on, every budget must be online and every monthly expenditure must be online. Things that will make it almost an impossibility for someone to steal. It's only when we begin to do that other people will look at you and look at the development happening within your region. You no longer need to preach them to them to be part of you. Suddenly, they will say, oh, look, this is the way you govern us. No, we don't want it. We want to join these people in the eastern Nigeria. We want to join them because that is the way we want to be governed. Suddenly, you will see yourself flourishing. So my people, in finality, what I will say is, it's about 25 days more to go. We will still keep the government in check to ensure that these people are brought to book. In the absence of that, make sure the RUGA settlement has been suspended. Please report and make videos whenever you see suspecting construction happening in any bushes around you. Because I do not believe the federal government that they've stopped it. Even the suspension, I do not even believe them. Because why should I believe them? I have no reason to believe that they've suspended it. So we have to be very watchful. Once more, a very wonderful afternoon. This is MaaziEzeoke. I'm signing off. Remain blessed.